I'm going to try to keep my cool.
Please.
Skip Bayless, this hurts me the way you hurt when it comes to San Antonio. We all knew that the Knicks were an unmitigated disaster. We accepted that because we had no choice very, very early on. It was clear they weren't going to win too many basketball games. It was clear that the triangle offense was going to take some moments to grasp and ultimately for players to get adjusted to. But last night, when I'm in that room, because remember, I was one of the 12 media members that were invited into the room, and we were on lockdown. We knew what the outcome was of the draft lottery literally an hour before they brought the cards on to the podium, and you saw it on national TV. So we saw all of this. We saw the lawyers were there, security was there. I mean, Skip, it was to the point where, I mean, we weren't allowed to speak, weren't allowed to leave the room unless we had to go to the bathroom. When we went to the bathroom, we had to have an escort. We weren't allowed to talk to anybody. We weren't allowed to reveal any results whatsoever. We watched the ping pong balls. We watched Minnesota get the #1 pick. The Lakers get the #2 pick. Congratulations to the Lakers, by the way. Philadelphia get the #3 pick. And I cannot tell you how excruciatingly painful that hour was waiting for it to come on the air, because it sunk in. I was in the room with these guys when the Knicks ended up getting the 4th pick. I can't even tell you the level of misery I have felt, and I'm still feeling. I barely slept last night because I'm just so disgusted with the New York Knicks. It's hard to put into words. You have a guy in Phil Jackson. This is the same Phil Jackson who basically everybody believed took the job just because of the money. I was happy he's there because he's an 11-time champion, and we needed this. We needed his presence. What happens in the aftermath of that? He moves Tyson Chandler just to get rid of Raymond Felton and brings back Jose Calderon. He gets rid of Iman Shumpert and J.R. Smith for 2 second-round picks and 2 trade exceptions, which to us amounts to about a box of cookies, okay? You sit up there, and Melo, you hoodwinked him into believing that you were going to try to win now, and you told us that the New York Knicks would be competing for a playoff spot fresh off of a 37-win season under Mike Woodson, who had won 54 games the year before and had taken them to the semifinals for the first time in 13 years as a franchise. You sold us on all of this, Phil Jackson. And yet, the New York Knicks somehow, regardless of their pathetic recent history over spanning the last decade, Skip Bayless somehow, some way, it's worse under Phil Jackson. Never in the history of the New York Knicks have they lost 60-plus games in a season. They lost 65 this year. You got a rookie coach in Derek Fisher who's never even been an assistant. Maybe he'll be a good coach, Skip. But guess what? He's never coached before. And by the way, if you're Phil Jackson, but Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook or LeBron James or Kobe or somebody was on this squad, are you trying to tell me that Phil Jackson is sitting on the sidelines instead of coaching? I don't think so. I'm sorry, instead of being an executive? I mean, come on now. I don't believe so. The man has made 2 road trips this year, Skip. You know where those 2 road trips were?
L.A., because you've
Clippers,
reminded me again
and Lakers.
Again. Yep.
Last week, Skip, we're in Chicago for the Bulls-Cavs. The NBA pre-draft camp is in Chicago. Skip, all the executives, all the coaches, everybody goes there. Everybody's there. Phil Jackson is in Chicago. What are they talking about last night? Phil Jackson never showed up to the pre-draft. He was in Chicago, never showed up. Steve Mills, somebody else was there. I mean, you got to be kidding me. And then the draft last night, if nothing else, Skip Bayless, you're the Zen master. You're the guy, the zen, the aura, all the things that make you you. I mean, things just seem to flow in your favor, Phil Jackson. Would you think that level of karma was worth? I mean, you could have blessed us with your presence last night, because you are getting paid $10 to $12 million. I mean, could you at least showed up and just sat there to hear? Maybe, just maybe, you might have ended up getting one of the top 2 picks. No, Phil Jackson can't do that either. So you can't seem to pick talent. You can't seem to go out there and get a marquee free agent. Not yet, anyway. You can't build a roster. You don't want to pick a coach with experience. You don't want to coach. And then on top of it all, you don't even have the decency to show up and to make your presence felt so some level of karma can come our way.
just